Welcome to Gemcraft Studio here at Shop LC, where all of your favorite jewelry projects begin. I'm Sara Lovecraft, and today we're putting together a beautiful glowing lagoon bracelet. It's got a fun little cha-cha segment to it. I think you're going to love it. The tools for this project are your round nose pliers for creating some wrapped loops. You're going to be using your chain nose pliers and your bent chain nose pliers for opening and closing jump rings. We'll be using our cutter tool for cutting our wire and our crimper tool for closing our crimps. For today's project, we're going to be using some beautiful magnesite beads. We're also going to be using some gorgeous faceted freshwater pearls that seem to glow from within. We're going to be using some metal beads, some size 11O seed beads, our wire guardians, our crimp tubes, clasp, a lot of 5mm jump rings. There is an unexpected amount of jump rings in this, as well as our head pins. We're also going to be using some bead stringing wire. The first step of this project is to prepare everything that you need before you assemble the bracelet. So we're going to start with all of the magnesite beads that are here on the outside edge. We're going to use wrapped loops to create dangles out of those gorgeous magnesite beads. You're going to thread a magnesite bead onto a head pin and drop that down. Then we're going to be using our chain nose pliers. Grab the wire right where it is exiting that bead and bend the wire over the top of the chain nose pliers. Come in with your round nose pliers and grasp the wire. Take the wire up and over the top barrel of the round nose pliers, and then you're going to hold the bead steady and rotate the pliers in your hand. Take the wire over to the other side to create your loop. I switch hands at this point, putting the round nose pliers into my left hand, and then I use my right hand with my chain nose pliers to grab the wire, and we're going to wrap around the wire between the loop and the bead 3 times. Use your cutter tool to trim off the excess length. To create the dangles for our project, you're going to need 2 of these. Then we're going to attach these to jump rings. Hold the jump ring steady between your 2 pairs of pliers. Hold your non-dominant hand still and use your dominant hand to twist to open the jump ring and thread on your 2 magnesite beads. Hold everything steady and twist to close. Now we're going to add 1 more jump ring to this. Hold your jump ring steady, twist to open, and thread that on to the previous jump ring. Hold that jump ring steady and twist to close. You'll need to create a total of 9 of your little dangle segments with your magnesite beads. Be sure to hold out 2 extra magnesite beads for when we are stringing our beads together. All right, take your bead stringing wire and thread on your wire guardian with your crimp tube. First, that crimp tube. Hold that crimp tube about 2 inches from the end of your beading wire and thread on your wire guardian. You're going up through the wire guardian and then back down through the wire guardian and then down through your crimp. Pull that crimp tube up close to your wire guardian and separate out your beading wire. Make sure that those wires are not crisscrossing inside that crimp tube, that they are running parallel. Place that crimp into the back notch of your crimper tool and give that a squeeze. Turn it sideways, place that into the front notch of your crimper tool and give that a squeeze. Now at this point, you can take the tail end of your wire through a few beads, or you can go ahead and trim it off. I'm going to trim mine off. You want to trim as close to the crimp as possible. Just be careful not to accidentally cut the other wire. All right, now we're ready to begin stringing on our beads. We're going to thread on 1 metal bead and drop that down next to your crimp. Then we're going to thread on one of our freshwater pearls, another metal bead, a freshwater pearl, a metal bead, another pearl, a metal bead, and then one of your magnesite beads. Drop all of those down. Thread on another metal bead. And now we're going to start adding in our dangles as we go. We're going to thread on our first pearl. And then right after that pearl, we're going to thread on a size 11 seed bead. These seed beads are nearly invisible. They are silver lined, clear. You're going to drop that down. That seed bead is actually going to act as a protective barrier between your jump ring and your bead stringing wire. What you want is for the jump ring to sit on top of the seed bead. So you're going to thread the top jump ring onto the beading wire of your dangle, and you're going to drop that down. Now, initially, that's not going to do much of anything. It's when the next bead comes in that it helps to set that jump ring. So you're going to thread on your next pearl. And then when you hold all of that in place, you can see that jump ring will sit directly on top of that seed bead and will not be touching your beading wire. We don't want that touching the beading wire because the movement from those jump rings against the beading wire eventually over time will wear away the nylon coating on the beading wire, and it will create abrasion, and that will make it fray. So we want to be sure that we're always being extra protective of that nylon coating that's on the beading wire. So we're just going to proceed threading on all of the dangles between our pearls with those jump rings in between to protect our wire. So the next bead to go on will be a seed bead, and then another dangle, threading on that top jump ring of the dangle that we created, and then another pearl. Keep repeating this pattern until you have thread on all of your dangles. Now, if you find that you need a shorter bracelet, this bracelet turns out to be right around 8 inches long. You need something a little bit shorter. An opportunity to decrease that length would be to maybe leave out one of the dangle sections, or alternately, you can remove one of the pearls at the beginning. So either way, take a pearl away at the end to create a little bit shorter measurement. Now, once you have added your last pearl after your dangle, you're going to thread on another metal bead, one last pearl, the last magnesite bead, and one more metal bead will finish the pattern. Now we're ready to crimp. Thread on your crimp tube and your wire guardian, up through the wire guardian, down through the wire guardian, and then down through your crimp. You may take your wire down through a couple of beads if you want, or you can just leave it and cut it. We're going to pull everything close down to the last bead on our design, making sure that the wires are not crisscrossing. Place that crimp into the back notch of your crimper tool and give that a squeeze. Turn it sideways, place it into the front notch of the crimper tool, give that a squeeze, and then use your cutter tool to trim the excess wire. If you need a little bit more of an in-depth look at crimping, please be sure to check out our crimping technique video on our YouTube channel. Now we're ready to add the hardware to finish off our bracelet. Using your chain nose pliers, we're going to attach our jump rings to the ends. Hold your jump rings steady between 2 pairs of pliers. Twist to open. Thread your jump ring on to one of the wire guardians at the end. Thread on your clasp, and then twist to close. Repeat this step on the other end of your bracelet. Hold your jump ring steady between 2 pairs of pliers, twist to open, thread your wire guardian, hold that steady, and twist to close. And there you have it. Thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed today's project. Again, I am Sara Lovecraft here at Gemcraft Studio with Shop LC. Please be sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our future content. And let us know in the comments, where would you wear this fun cha-cha style bracelet?